history of a violent act. The rapper in Brisbane, back security, and cuffed flanked by two officials after he was brought back.
So as you may or may not know, British YouTuber Young Philly has been recently charged for sexual assault. And honestly, I couldn't believe it. Even thinking about it right now, it's still crazy. Like, this guy is Philly. What the fuck?
Davis? No.
Okay, that was glazed. Let me stop. That was glazing. It's just a thing where Philly would always talk about his family and just women in general with Chunks and the Beta Squad, and trying to put Philly and assault in the same sentence just wouldn't feel right. After the charges were made public, Philly lost a lot of fans, brand deals.
The amount of money that Young Philly would have lost just over the weekend alone is starting to get crazy. The FA cancelled a new show that was going to have Philly cooking alongside big Premier League players like Saka. His brand deals with ASOS have been deleted. His sauce with Heinz has been pulled. His clothing line with Perplex has been taken down. Foot Asylum announced they are suspending our contract with Young Philly with immediate effect. His dating show with Gymshark, Hit Off, has been unlisted. The first live show for the Chunks and Philly podcast has been cancelled. With the producers, Upload Productions, saying they are pausing any work with Young Philly.
Social media went ballistic. You see a lot of people attacking Young Philly and bringing up videos of the past that showed that he was actually always like this.
Yeah, I can perform to you in private one day.
People even started looking at the Sidemen as well as the Beta Squad differently because of their 20v1 videos as well as other videos that showed women being degraded and objectified. This isn't the first time that a content creator has gotten themselves into some deep shit and the internet has rallied against them. For example, the cupcake connoisseur himself, EDP, thought he could get away with his cupcake and even tried to make a comeback through other social media platforms with the backing of his weird cult followers.
Do you honestly think that I would sit back and throw away my life for a bitch that probably never even heard of the fucking Pythagorean theorem?
Fred, get your money, man. Life goes on.
Most people denounced him and tried to get him off the internet for good, even going as far to make sure that he could even get a roof over his head. Like, I was seeing people, this guy was trying to get a house, and the internet was just like, nah, we're gonna expose him. I was just like, damn.
That's tough.
Now, do I agree with people on the internet basically trying to make someone's life a living hell? Maybe. But I definitely agree with the principle that your actions do have consequences and you will learn from them one way or another. It feels like 2024 has been the year for exposing celebrities and their true nature. From P. Diddy to Dr. Disrespect, it's just all being wild. I started seeing things on the comments saying, why don't these victims speak out earlier? Like, why didn't Cassie speak out about P. Diddy and who he really was like years ago? Like, imagine you as a woman and you're just assaulted. You're expecting love and care, but no. You got people asking you if you was drunk or high, or what was you wearing that night? That's crazy, especially, if you're the victim. It's a sad reality. Like, imagine, put yourself in their shoes. Like, I know I'd be distraught. So, of course, I get why people would want to take to social media and expose the person who assaulted them. Now, sometimes this leads to people being punished in a way. People jumping these people or even torturing them. But like I said before, your actions do have consequences. And while I do not agree with violence is the means to solving everything, I do agree with cause and reaction. But the reality is, when it comes to things like rape or sexual assault, women and even men have a hard time expressing how they was a victim because of embarrassment, victim blaming, and fear. Now, jungle justice on social media can be a good thing for sure. Sometimes people have wrong done against them and they try to go through the legal system, which is honorable and the correct way to meet. But sometimes people do not get heard and they get shunned. So they take to social media and express their problems, and the internet goes to work. It's common practice now that when you're in a situation, whether the workplace, school, whenever really, to get your phone out and start recording the situation you're in, and basically try to expose the person who's wronging you and shame them for their action. And while this is good because it provides an alternative way of communicating your issues with the world, like for example, look what's happening in the Gaza Strip, where kids are losing their lives and families are being displaced, and I wouldn't be able to see most of those like atrocities if not for apps like TikTok and social media in general. Despite all this though, I still feel like it can be very damaging for our society, as we're moving to an age where people would rather get their phones and record themselves of the issue that they're in rather than going to maybe the law enforcement or a professional. Now, by no means am I saying that this should stop. It shouldn't. But I'm more worried about when it's big scale things that can affect criminal proceedings in the future and how they're handled or disputed. Like the situation that young Philly's in. Listen though, if someone is rightfully convicted and there is more than enough evidence above reasonable doubt, then
What's going on? Y'all are going to jail. Period.
Social media is really a dual-edged sword, and a lot of people can fabricate or lie about something. It can in turn lead people to wonder whether or not something is factual or was just made up to get a quick buck, which is obviously a problem. While someone can be in the right and everything that they're saying is true, social media can just say that they are lying and just want some clout. Now, with all this being said, I am an avid supporter of innocent until proven guilty. And honestly, that's how it should be, because it would lessen a lot of issues across the judicial system, and courts would actually give a fuck about persecuting the actual criminals. I didn't really do any in-depth research, or at least as much as I should have done on this topic. I just kind of wanted to talk about on a very basic level and just kind of put it out there. I'm only 20 and the reality is we are the new generation, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, whatever it is. So you have to start implementing the things we want to see in our society. All in all, I guess we can all aim to be fair and not go straight to cancelling without evidence. And remember to surround yourself with people that aren't the kind of people to say, why was she there in the first place, or what was she wearing? But at the same time, the person who wouldn't say, I definitely knew there was a rapist. And if you know a certain dude or certain person who says shit like this, then check them. And I get that it's scary to do that because some people have been in your life like forever. But honestly, if it gets to a point where they just don't want to listen or even hear you out on a basic level, then you just have to probably disassociate yourself from that person and hope that they learn and become better over time. And yeah, that's about it. Comment down below what you think of what I said, and let's have a conversation. Thank you for watching.